A beautiful new week to you all, amazing viewers. Welcome to today's newspaper review. Today we'll be looking at the major headlines dominating today's newspaper. Firstly, we'll start from the Daily Trust newspaper. On the Daily Trust newspaper, the major headline here is New Phantom Agency Cuts SGF Governors. Concerns over inclusion of Beta Edu. Others in TINUBU's campaign cancel. Phone technician loses 2 wives, children to fire. This is a very sad one. Fuel subsidy will reverse gains, says ministers. So the minister is saying that fuel subsidy will reverse gain. Many worshippers adopted from Niger Mosque during Jumat prayer. Another case of insecurity as many worshippers have been adopted in Niger Mosque during Jumat prayers. How my husband, 2 children, died after eating amala. This is coming from a widow talking about how her husband and 2 children died after eating amala. NDLEA arrests 101-year-old woman for allegedly selling drugs. So the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency have arrested an old woman of 101 years for allegedly selling drugs. Benue medical lecturers begin strike over unpaid arrears. On to the next newspaper for today, which is the Daily Sun. On the Daily Sun, the major headline here is Tinubu, Atiku, Obi differ on economic security and education. So this is on Tinubu, who is our current president, Atiku and Obi, the presidential candidate, so are disagreeing on the economic and security and education of the country. Delta dismisses Omo Agege's assassination claims, accuses him of seeking cheap media attention. Federal government targets digital independence, spends 3.8 trillion naira on IT. On 2027 campaign, Kawu urges Yari-led APC Council to acknowledge Nigerians' hardship. This is on 2027 campaign as Kawu urged Yari-led APC Council to acknowledge Nigerians' hardship. Onayikan, Mba, Osigwe, Yadudu, Okuna, Save a Life Hospital CMD, orders to speak at NGE 2026 conference in Enugu, September 24 and 25. So Onayikan, Mba and others are going to speak on the CMD Hospital NGE 2026 conference that will be held in Enugu on September 25th and 24th. 424 billion naira social welfare allocation from 20.4 trillion naira windfall troubling. This is coming from an expert. On to the next newspaper, which is the Punch newspaper. On the Punch newspaper, the major headline here is on FAAC bonanzas. Government face questions as payout hits 47 trillion naira. Tribute as Nollywood, Ogunmon Ogogo at 66. Then on oil blogs, 31 winners face payment deadline. Then another headline here is on Oshunpo, how vote buyers breached EFCC, ICPC, INEC defenses. This is on the Oshunpo that was held. How vote buyers breached the EFCC, ICPC, INEC defenses. 150,000 naira palliative. Pensioners threaten mass protest. This is on the palliative. NDLEA arrest 101-year-old cannabis dealer, daughter in Ogun. On 2027, Mba, Onayikan, headline, NGA debate on election disinformation. On to the next newspaper, which is the New Telegraph. On the New Telegraph here, the major headline is on Donald Duke. Tambo Mbeki told Nigerian could face a coup after Obasanjo's second term bid. This is on reports. Nigeria spent $1.26 billion on food imports in 4 months. This is coming from a report talking about how Nigeria have spent $1.26 billion just on food importation in 4 months. Kogi Central, factors that will decide Natasha Bello rematch. TINUBU afraid of competition, says Galadima. This is coming from Galadima to TINUBU, saying that he's afraid of competition. NDLEA arrest 101-year-old great-grandma for selling drugs in sachets. This particular headline is almost like two of the newspaper now, as NDLEA arrest an old woman of 101 years of selling drugs in sachets. Nollywood gives a veteran actor Ogogo bows to cancer at 66. This is a very sad one. May his soul rest in peace. Melayi heads to court over NRS boss Adedeji's role in TINUBU's campaign cancel. NGE confirmed. Onayikan Mba Osigwe orders to speak in Enugu. This headline is also in another newspaper, as Onayikan Mba Osigwe and others are going to speak in Enugu on September 24th and 25th. Then on 2027, match your prayers with action. This is coming from the PFN to Christians, that they should match their prayers with action. What they mean matching their prayers with action is coming out to vote on the forthcoming election, 2027 election. $5 billion Abu Dhahab deal. Oye worried over accountability. On to the next newspaper, which is the Nigerian Tribune. On the Nigerian Tribune, the major headline here is on Presidential Campaign Committee, ADC leaders in battle of wits. Bandits kidnap Kwara traditional ruler. This is still on another insecurity, as bandits kidnap Kwara traditional ruler. Motorists, grown trucks trapped as Oye, Ekiti, Elupeju, Kamba Road collapses. Nollywood, Ogun, government mourn as Ogogo dies of cancer at 66, to be buried today in Ilaro. May his soul rest in peace. NDLEA arrest 101-year-old woman. This headline is still in all the whole newspaper. Onayikan Mban Osigwe orders to speak at NGE 2026 conference in Enugu. So the conference is going to be held in Enugu on September 24th and 25th. Osun government warns against fresh violence, urges post-election reconciliation. TINUBU will earn a fresh mandate in 2027. Yari declares. This is coming from Yari to President TINUBU, saying that President TINUBU will earn a fresh mandate in 2027 election. Nigerians decry excessive cement price, demand explanation from manufacturers. The high cost of living now, not just on cement, even on foodstuffs, is really becoming excessive. Articles, subsidy removal proposal, May election season declaration. Coming from the APC national chairman to articles, saying that the subsidy removal proposal are just mere election season declaration. On to the next newspaper, which is the Guardian newspaper. On the Guardian newspaper, the major headline here is 14 years after Orosanye report, bloated agency cost Nigeria 1 trillion naira in 2026. Mixed reactions trial. APC's campaign cancel membership. Government now pay wages with devalued naira, says Afineferi. This is coming from Afineferi to government, that they now pay wages with devalued naira. Democracy doesn't survive on polls alone. Way tells Nigerian's lawyer. This is coming from Way to Nigerian's lawyer, that democracy doesn't survive just on polls alone. Presidency, Hashim Sowore orders pick holes in Atiku subsidy U-turn. Osun government alleges fresh plots to attack local government motor parks. Nigeria turns to banks for 20.5 billion naira to expand renewable electricity. Then this is still on the actor who died. Actor Ogogo for burial today as Ogun celebrates legacy. On to the next newspaper, which is the Vanguard newspaper. on the Vanguard newspaper here. The major headline here is on Nigeria's oil output. Nigeria's oil output drops by 20.8% in 10 years. Onayikan, Mba, Osigwe, Yadudu others to speak at NGE Confab in Enugu, September 24th and 25th. Then on insecurity, end this madness once and for all. Obi tax federal government. This is coming from a presidential candidate, Peter Obi of the NDC, to federal government that they should end this madness of the insecurity. How 23 stocks beat inflation. On fuel subsidy, return to old regime will worsen economic crisis. This is coming from Information Minister Idris concerning the fuel subsidy, saying that they should return to old regime, that returning to old regime will worsen economic crisis. NDLEA nabbs 101-year-old great-grandmom, intercepts cocaine in Fufu. Ranching, federal government won't force policy on Benue. This is coming from Governor Alia, that is the governor of Benue State, saying that federal government won't force policy on Benue State. Sokoto terror attack, hunger trauma grip 7 communities. On to the next newspaper, which is the Daily Independent. On the Daily Independent, the major headline here is on foreign funds hold back on Nigeria over tax election risk. SIRAP gives INEC 7 days over 2027 political donation limits, party funding. Then on insecurity, troops kill 40 terrorists, foil attacks and recover weapons. Yiwatada to Atiku. This is coming from Yiwatada to Atiku. Subsidy plan exposes opposition's lack of readiness. How true is this statement? Infrastructure deficits blamed as Nigeria's oil output slumps. Dangote refineries expands free fuel delivery to 14 states. Atiku calls out TINUBU over $5 billion UAE loan facility. So Atiku is calling out on President TINUBU over 5 billion naira UAE loan facility. On to the next newspaper for today, which is the Daily Monitor. On the Daily Monitor here is on targeted subsidy. So this is also coming from Atiku, saying that no amount of resistance from TINUBU supporters can stop him. So Atiku is saying that no amount of resistance from TINUBU supporters can stop him. On insecurity, Nigeria must not become killing field, Peter Obi warns. So the NDC presidential candidate Peter Obi is talking about Nigeria must not become killing field. Dangote refineries free fuel delivery expands to Kano, Imo and 14 states. NDLEA arrests 101-year-old great-grandma, intercepts cocaine in Fufun. This headline is in all the whole newspaper. Troops neutralize 14 terrorists, foil attacks, recover weapons, and nationwide. Unical Vice Chancellor defies court injunction bars worshippers from chapel again. Alleged TINUBU drugs record. Ex-COAS warns against making documents public. This is still on alleged TINUBU drugs record. And ex-COAS are warning against making documents public. On to the next newspaper for today, which is also the last newspaper, which is the Matrix. On the Matrix newspaper, the major headline here is on 2027. Kwankwaso tears into APC campaign team. Nigerian spirit sector petitions TINUBU over sachet alcohol ban. So the Nigerian spirit sector are petitioning to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to ban the sale of alcohol in sachets. CPPE to federal government move beyond macroeconomic stability, deliver real benefits. So this is coming from the CPPE to federal government that they should move beyond macroeconomic stability and deliver real benefits to the citizens. Benue, Plateau, Niger attacks. Nigeria must not become killing field, Obi warns federal government. This is on the Benue Plateau and Niger attacks, as the presidential candidate for the NDC, Peter Obi, are warning the federal government that Nigeria must not become a killing field. NDLEA busts 101-year-old drug dealer, intercepts cocaine hidden in fufu. How will just a 101-year-old woman be selling cocaine in fufu? This particular headline is in the whole newspaper. Then on entertainment, still on matters, on entertainment, Nollywood Nigerians mourn as Taiwo Hassan Ogogo dies at 66. This is a very sad one to the Nollywood industry. May his soul rest in peace. Did the hardship end, or did Governor Adeleke's politics change? This is coming from Adebamiwa. He's asking if the hardship end, or did Governor Adeleke's politics change the hardship. Then on sports, in Matrix, EPL, Man City snatch late win as Liverpool hold Newcastle. And that's all for today's newspaper review. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more updates. I'm Chidera Eso. Do have a beautiful week.